The Phoenix Suns are back. Grayson Allen and Dillon Brooks are out, but Devin Booker, Jalen Green ready to go. We're ready to go from Gila River Resorts Casinos. Wild Horse Pass. Let's get into it. Psychos and sickos unite for a We're So Back edition of the PHNX Suns pregame show.
Is that
of
UK,
course.
Ray?
Yeah, Psychos and sickos unite. Of course, presented by our friends over at Gila River Resorts Casinos. You do you. At Gila River Resorts Casinos, visit playatgila.com for more details, or come visit us out here at the Upper Deck Kitchen and Bar at Wild Horse Pass. Hospitality's been fantastic. The crowd is filling in behind us. There's still time for you to come out here and watch Suns Spurs first game post All-Star break. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Full squad here. The Freckled Mamba back behind the Mac. I'm Eric. That's Gil. We got Steven and Espo. But Espo, we are not the most important people here today.
Yes, I am. I don't know
Hey,
what
you
happened
gotta
about
roll
you
in
guys.
in the chat.
Oh, hey, welcome, chat. That's
Yeah.
right. Hi, chat. You're the most important people in the stream. We're the most important people here. Not even true. Russell, Deborah, Aiden, Kara, everybody that's here. Glad to have you as part of the fam damly tonight. Gonna talk Suns Spurs. It's gonna be fun.
Big shout out to Ralph and Lisa.
Why are you shaking your head, Steven? We're not even a minute into this thing.
Steven's,
You're shaking your head.
we're so bad.
Hey, listen, that's like you get the ball to your star player and he just started going ISO with 11:59 left in the first quarter. That's what that was.
This is the Dillon Brooks is ISOing while Devin Booker is shaking his head off to the side.
If you were worried about an All-Star break layoff, him shaking his head within a minute means
Yeah.
we are ready.
We're back!
No
It's
rust.
like Groundhog Day, right?
No rust at all.
Steven shakes his head. We're back doing PHNX Suns pre- and post-game shows. We're back doing watch parties. Big shout out to Ralph and Lisa, who were already here beforehand. Had a great time chopping it up and talking Suns basketball with you. Looking forward to all of the people who are showing up tonight.
Don't bury the lead. Ralph said championships follow wherever he is.
Whoa!
So you did
So
say
I
that.
think that matters a lot. And he had a direct correlation of he was in X city for X amount of time, and a big gold trophy followed that.
He showed his work. He did
He
show his
showed-
work.
he
He
gave us
showed
a
his
lot
work.
of proof of
I hate to
concept.
slow your roll, though. He said 2 years till he's here full time. So we got
Mm.
about
Hey,
24 months.
The
the
seed's
plan.
planted. The seed's
The plan.
planted.
It's the plan. The new plan.
For sure.
The new plans. It's a new part of the season post All-Star break. It's exciting. This has been a fun kind of build-up. It's been a little bit of a layoff. Now, I will say a little bit of wind taken out of the sails with our injury report, of course, presented by our friends over at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've been in a serious accident or suffered a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. Got good news and bad news. The good news is Devin Booker, Jalen Green, off the injury report entirely. The bad news, Dillon Brooks is out with a league suspension mandated for hitting his technical fouls. He'll be back after this game. Grayson Allen, a late scratch with a right ankle sprain after shoot-around early this morning. Haywood Highsmith still recovers a couple weeks out from seeing him. Cole Anthony not with the team.
The real bad news is Mason Plumlee not being available for San Antonio.
Yes,
no
and no
revenge.
Lindy Waters
Again,
III.
burying the lead. No
Big-
reverse dunks for us tonight. Oh, man.
No revenge game. But Grayson Allen and Dillon Brooks out. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's focus on the good stuff first. Gil, Jalen Green, Devin Booker available. You've got the starting lineup.
I do have the starting lineup. Jalen Green's in the starting lineup tonight.
Yay!
Colin Gillespie, Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Royce O'Neal, and Mark Williams, obviously because there's no Dillon Brooks with that suspension. But we've talked so much about when that day was going to come, and they've kind of eased him back into it. Maybe that means we see a bigger workload for him, more minutes tonight. Now I think this is the answer to a lot of the complaints that we saw before All-Star, why he did not play in that game. There's always a bigger picture in mind, and we won't call that Thunder game a scheduled loss, but coming out of the break, we're getting closer and closer to full strength and closer to seeing what this team is going to look like at full strength. So I'm excited to see Jalen Green in the starting lineup tonight.
That starting lineup, height-wise, looks like the three of us next to you, Gil. It's a lot of small next to one tall guy. So,
Steven, how are you feeling about that starting lineup, though? I don't think that's a starting lineup we've seen so far this season.
No, we haven't. I mean, Jalen's at the 3 with the way the pictures are set up. So that's very new. But I think what they're looking at is having guys that can do more than just shoot the ball if they're not going to have the team together that they are desiring. For a team against the team in San Antonio whose defensive numbers we'll get to shortly, you need to be able to not just go get paint touches, but be able to shoot it off of those, but be able to also kind of keep that wheel going. Sometimes it takes a second or third or sixth drive to kind of find an opening against Wemby and what he is as a defensive anchor. They'll need a lot of that tonight.
I'm smelling Jalen Green dunking on Wemby tonight.
Oh, please. He tried. He tried when he was on the Rockets and Wemby blocked him, but he did go for it. This, to me, is really big for the confidence of Jalen Green, right? He's been coming off of the bench for a while now, for the first time ever in his entire life. Now he's back starting, whether it's because Grayson was a late scratch due to injury or not. Hopefully this paired with the break, Gil, the All-Star break where he could recover from his left hip contusion and his right hamstring injury management, and he's completely off the injury report. Now he's starting again. Like, this might be that launching pad that we've so desperately needed for Jalen Green in the Suns uniform.
Absolutely. I know we talked a little bit, used the puzzle analogy in different respects, but it's almost like a puzzle, right? Like these pieces to his recovery were put together, and it doesn't make sense until you take a step back. It's all put together. So the workload, slowing it down, and the not playing in back-to-backs, and all these things that they had to check all these boxes to get him ready for this. Hopefully we see him play and he continue to build on the confidence that we've seen from these games from him, and we understand and see why they've treated his return the way they have this time around, because all that matters, and we talked about it, was him being ready for this final stretch of the season. We know what's happened in the past. That's happened in the past. So this is a major step to see him, and also we get to see him next to Devin Booker from the get-go. Those guys can play off of one another, and they can build that chemistry. So it's really important, and especially important that it's happening at this particular time.
Do we think that Jalen's on a minutes restriction still tonight?
That's the part I'm waiting to see. Naturally, Jordan Knott's not going to say too much about that. We'll just find out over the course of the game. So I imagine he has at least an uptick in the volume. If not, they outright just completely remove that capping of minutes, and then they just start to test the waters on where is his game conditioning. Because the only way you can get to that point and kind of passing that threshold is by testing the waters on it.
Yeah, I don't think you're starting him if you're at that 20-minute threshold that we saw before the break. And we heard Brian Gregory talk yesterday to the media and said that he's healthy. Like it was not a, well, you know, it was he's healthy. So I imagine right now it's go out there. If you feel anything, we'll dial it back. But right now, we got 27 games left to figure out how this is going to work going in to the play-in or play-off. Let's go out there and do it.
I was talking with Ralph and Lisa before all of this and about Jalen Green, and they asked, like, do we think that he's finally ready to get back and integrated and like fully give us the Jalen Green experience? And my initial response was he has to, right? I mean, this team, we talk about post All-Star break, second half of the season. There's less than 30 games left in the season, and we've yet to see Jalen Green string together any impactful basketball for a variety of different reasons, a lot out of his control. This team has to know what they're getting out of Jalen Green as they approach a playoff push, which I think starts tonight against San Antonio. And for Jalen Green's sake as well, what you want is a nice, solid stretch of about 25 games going into the playoffs, hopefully, or at least into the offseason, where you're back to your old ways. And then you have a healthy offseason, and you feel like you've got your footing underneath because, like Brian Gregory mentioned, this has not just been something that has been affecting this season. Jalen Green is the future of this franchise. He's in the long-term plans. Keeping him healthy and having him on the court is very important for this home stretch.
Well, it's paramount. Like if they want to be what they think they can be, Devin Booker and Jalen Green have to figure out how to be one of the best backcourts in the NBA. It's great to hear Brian Gregory say that he thinks they can be, that they will be. The Suns need them to be to really have a chance to make any noise when it comes to the postseason this year. And that's what everything's been predicated on. And we need to see it. We need to believe it going into the playoffs. This can't be a hypothetical when it comes to, hey, okay, you're the 6th seed, but we really don't know what Jalen and Devin are. No, we have to know exactly what they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, there's no room for guessing and assuming and using your imagination at this point. You need tangible evidence of these are our routes to success. When these two guys play this way against this type of defense, or if they play a defense against this type of offense with someone like Wemby, they need to have notable moments that they can kind of plug back to so that once it comes playoff time, they have answers to all of the questions that will be presented to them on the highest stage.
Yeah, the biggest thing, and I say it too, you say it all the time about G League stuff, there's nothing like game reps. So, you know, these guys can practice next to each other as much as they want, or we can look back to what's happened earlier in the year as much as we want. But for them to be able to do this at this juncture against one of the best teams in the Western Conference, who has a pretty stacked backcourt themselves, it's a great opportunity for them to have that right away to get out there and a good way to measure themselves and where they are and where they need to get to.
We'll talk about the Spurs here in a second, but first a super chat from King Dirtbag69, also known as Steve Kimes School of Drunk Driving.
That's a crazy name.
Which are the two of the best names in chat history. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it, but a super chat from King Dirtbag says, when do we start worrying about the Silver Sniper? Now, Grayson Allen out after being listed as questionable after shoot-around with a right ankle sprain. Was off the injury report yesterday for the right knee injury that he sustained pre-All-Star break. Isaiah Livers also off the injury report and stayed off the injury report. Are we worried at all about this with Grayson?
No. I mean, if it had been the knee still and it was off the injury report and then back on because of the knee, yeah. Ankle, he stepped on somebody or whatever happened in practice. We know that happens. That worries me less than anything else. If it mysteriously becomes the knee again 2 days from now, we can have a conversation.
That was a weird thing about the knee injury to begin with, because we thought it was an ankle to start. And this, obviously, by all indications, is something that just popped up in between yesterday and today's game when the injury report came out. But because of that, as you said, Espo, I'm not that concerned about it until it starts to linger. But if we see him back in the next couple games, then I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not concerned.
No Dillon Brooks tonight either. That's the final part of this injury report that we'll touch on. Obviously missing a game because of his one-game suspension because he got his 16th technical in the final game before the All-Star break. I think tonight that matters a lot. I know any game that you're missing Dillon Brooks, but specifically the type of defender that we've seen Dillon be against Wembanyama, one of actually the more effective defenders against him so far in Wemby's young career. That is going to be a big blow to the Suns' defense and offense with the way that he's been producing pre-All-Star break.
Yeah, showing them bodies. I mean, that's the thing.
I guess that's it. You can follow the show at PHNX_Suns.
There's not much else to say about it, but looking back to Steven and what you did, and you broke down how the Suns guarded Wemby so well a few months ago, like they were just showing them bodies, and I know we'll talk a little bit more about it in a second, but the strength that Dillon Brooks brings. I think people kind of sometimes forget just how big of a body he is and how strong he is, not just for his position, but generally speaking, and then obviously the attitude that he plays with and the way that he plays. The good thing it was to see that he made the trip with the team. He was there for practice. He's just not allowed in the arena. So he'll be around. His impact will be felt, just not on the court.
It's probably good he's not allowed in the arena because then he can't pick up a tech from the sideline like he did against the Warriors.
That's a great point. He might try and pick one up from the hotel though. So we'll see. He might make a new record here.
Nasty asks, is Highsmith playing? No. Highsmith, according to Gambo, still a couple of weeks out from being able to play. He was on the injury report as right knee injury management. So we'll let you know when he's closer to playing. Hopefully he can get some reps in sometime this season.
Appreciate you, Kara.
Yes, great video by Steven over on our YouTube channel.
Which one? There's so many of them.
That is true. There was a Haywood Highsmith film breakdown. Then there was one on how the Suns were able to give Wemby ye old French rejection. So that's definitely something.
And there's a great VOD about talking about Brian Gregory. You're
you
co-host on that one. Yeah, about that too.
Look at that. It's almost like PHNX Sports has all the great content out there for you. But
let's talk about do it better than anybody else.
That is true.
Many are saying.
They're going to need to defend. The Suns are tonight better than almost anybody else. Let's get into our credit check brought to you by our friends at Mountain America Credit Union, the official credit union of the Phoenix Suns. Steven, to say the Spurs have been surging as of late would be an understatement.
Among many other things, yes. And you can pick whichever side of the basketball you want to start with because they've been just flat out the best team in the month of February, I almost said March.
Oh, they'll probably be that too.
The way they're trending right now, yeah, for sure. They're doing a lot right now. We can go ahead and start with the offense, though, Ayrton. Looking at them specifically in this month of February, so they played 6 games. They haven't lost a game. They played some solid competition in the mix with all of that as well. 125.1 offensive rating is second in this stretch. 108.7 half-court rating in all offense is third in the league. Shooting 58.8% on their effective field goal percentage is number 2 in the league. This one is important for me. 74.7% of their plays are taking place in the half court. That's the lowest in the league. So what that means is if you're getting lowest amount of percentage of possessions in the half court and your offensive rating is 125, you are running, you are gunning, you are playing off of your defense, which leads to the last one. 20% transition frequency, first in the NBA in the month of February. They're playing off of their defense, which naturally leads to the defensive side of the ball, Ayrton. As you take a look at them on that side of the ball, I want to start by paying close attention to the half-court rating. So, yes, it is only 13th in the league, which is basically middle of the pack. The thing for me is Wembanyama, because no one's scoring in the paint against them. If you're beating them, oftentimes it's because you're knocking down a ton of threes or you're doing some things in transition. But the fact that Wemby's around them, and we'll kind of dive into the details on that shortly, helps just kind of shape-shift everything, and that's typically what kind of springboards them into playing off of that transition. The other thing, the very last one, they hardly send their opponents to the free throw line. So you get Wemby's disruptiveness, you get Stephon Castle mucking things up on the perimeter, but they also don't send teams to the line. The Suns have to be very intentional about how they're looking to kind of find openings against Wemby and just generally attack this defense tonight.
Well, Gil, and that's the thing is everybody looks at it's Wembanyama, and rightfully so. Right. He's their all-star. They're one of the best teams in the league, especially when he's on the court. But what makes the Spurs team dangerous is that it's not just shut down Wembanyama and you're good. They have a whole lot of other talent and options on that team that the Suns have to worry about. Who is it besides Wembanyama that you feel like might give the Suns some problems tonight?
I got my eyes on the backcourt. I got my eyes on Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox. Like, De'Aaron Fox was also an all-star, and we were talking about this while we were watching the all-star game. He probably gets talked about the least considering the type of player that he is in this league. And I think that people question why the Spurs made that move to get him, giving all of the backcourt guys they already had, but we're seeing it in a lot of these numbers. He has a nickname of Swiper for a reason. He's very active, his active hands, the way he can be disruptive. And also, you can be very active and muck things up as a perimeter defender because you know you got the 7'5" guy back there who blocks every single thing. So thinking about what Fox and Castle can do in that backcourt is going to be a tough test for this Suns backcourt, and see if they're up for it.
I mean, it comes down to who's going to force more turnovers, who's going to get in transition better tonight for me is, okay, can you play the Spurs and the kind of game that they're liking to play in the month of February and put it to them? Can Jordan Goodwin put pressure in a, not obviously at the same level as Swiper, but in a similar way to give you some of that backcourt pressure? Like, to me, that is a big way you're going to have to fight them, is that way, because I'm sorry, Mark Williams ain't going to grow 3 inches and become French tonight. You're not going to create a second Wemby, so you're going to have to do things that push things in your favor. So
we already have a second Wemby. His name's Kaman Malawach. I'm kidding. We probably won't see Kaman
I thought you were
tonight.
going to say Bull.
No, this is one of those games that you picture the future of Kaman Malawach and say, okay, this would be good for it, but obviously not tonight.
Yeah, I think the future of being Wemby would be great.
Well, no,
for
I'm just
him,
saying like this type of matchup is why you
good idea.
Okay, good. Because you know what, I'd take him as being Wemby if we could make it happen.
Like if he's Wemby or like Mason Plumlee, right? Like
somewhere in between there would be good.
There's a lot of room in between, for sure.
Not really.
I just
pretty
threw
much
up in my mouth.
You're right.
You're not a Mason Plumlee stan? I know you run Plumlee Muse.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
For all the Plumlees.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like a horrible.
What's the third Plumlee's name?
Marshall?
Marshall Plumlee.
Miles.
Yeah, we got
Marshall.
Miles, Mason, and Marshall Plumlee.
That's enough with the burner talk.
He unfollowed me, by the way. The burner unfollowed me. Since we're a little bit off the rails here, before we get back on the rails, want to give a couple shout outs in the chat. Keybon says, hi, just received the villain shirt design. It's great and glad that it fits. Have a great evening, everybody, and go Suns. Yeah. That is awesome, Keybon. We love all of y'all who have ordered the villain shirt. And if you haven't yet, we have a 30% discount on our entire PHNX locker right now, including the villain shirt. So now is the time to get that. Get your villain shirts. And if we want more shirts, blue-collar shirts or things of that nature, this one's got to sell. So go out there and support with that 30% off discount.
We're calling it our Dickerson deal. So hop in and save some money.
I don't know if this discount could get higher. Also, a big shout-out to Bear the Blader, who is at the watch party currently behind us right now. He's been at another one before as well. So really excited to see all of you out here tonight to watch Suns Spurs. Steven, obviously the Suns will have to be on their P's and Q's tonight as they take on the Spurs in Austin, by the way, for the second time in 2 years. What are your keys to a Suns victory tonight?
Yeah, start with key number one, obviously tending to the big fella, Victor Wembanyama, and that's executing on your rules, your principles that gave you great success your first time seeing him this season. holding him to 9 points on 14 shots, making him look honestly just uninterested in playing basketball in that game, which is a situation I don't think I've ever seen him be that flustered by a team just being that pesky. So
How do you do it without Dillon Brooks, though?
yeah, that's the hard part. Obviously, he's your spear, your ring bearer for all of the physicality you want, but you have to have other guys that are willing to step up and do that tonight. So I think I'm looking at guys like Jordan Goodwin. Jordan Goodwin spent as much time as Dillon Brooks did and Ryan Dunn did guarding him last time. Those two guys, Ryan Dunn and Jordan Goodwin, just being physical, pushing his catch points out, and then the help behind them being early so that they can then get out to the shooters but not be caught in limbo trying to do both at the same time. Which leads to number 2, your ball security. You have to take care of it because San Antonio typically does a great job of doing so as well. And then also in tandem with that, your transition defense. Whether you are taking care of the ball and you're just missing shots or you're turning the ball over, you have to get back. Because if you take that transition piece off the board for them offensively, you can kind of bog them down and slow them down and kind of play the game on your terms. And then that gets to the last one. You want to make sure you're defending well with your anticipation because of key number 1, but you also want to make sure you're forcing as many as you can because you don't want to have to be having to go up against Wembanyama in a half court time after time. They do a great job of doing switches off the ball that keep him around the basket so that you get that rim protection, and then you're forced to take shots on the script that you don't always want to.
This is not a game that the Suns and how they looked for the final games before the All-Star break can play like, right? You've got to be on not just your P's and Q's, but you almost have to play a perfect game to beat the Spurs as of late. The Spurs are sneakily one of probably a few title contenders right now currently in the league. Like, obviously, Denver is certainly one, but they're dealing with a lot of injuries. You have OKC out in the West. Like, San Antonio is really the only other team firmly in that conversation in the Western Conference.
Do you really believe that,
they're
though, with their
really
lack of experience?
They're really good.
I get that they're good. I just think the lack of experience is going to come to bear with this. This is one of those teams that I think needs to take their lumps in the playoffs at least once or twice before they become realistic. But I think your point being that they're playing at a championship caliber level in terms of how well they've played as of late. I think that's fair. I don't know that I quite buy that they're in that.
I think
my counter
for me, go ahead.
The 2021 Suns, Devin Booker's first playoff run. Right, when you have somebody who's just built, built for it, they're built for it.
Who's their Chris Paul?
That's my question.
De'Aaron Fox is probably as close as you're going to get to that.
Yeah, and that's a guy that was on the Kings.
Sure, that's a guy who was on the Kings. But when you have a guy who's just built for it, and Wemby is certainly built for it, like that first question about the playoffs, it doesn't ring as hard for me. But again, like if that's the only hole that you have to poke in there, right? Is they just haven't done it yet. Well, yeah, they also haven't been a team that's almost gone 40-20, which if they go 2-3 over their next 5, they hit the 40-20 rule, which is a huge rule. It's been around since Phil Jackson about those are the true title contenders. Like, I'm scared of this team this year and obviously for the future, but I still think that they have a chance to make a very deep championship run this season.
We almost had to take away your basketball card when I asked who's your Chris Paul, and you
just said on that team, like you don't have one. But
I thought you were going to say Harrison Barnes.
That's your veteran point guard. Well, that would have been even more. That would have been even worse to say Harrison Barnes.
He's got a champion. He's got championship experience.
Come on. Anyway,
I'll get us back on course. Yeah, because shout out Swiper, but no.
I'm not saying he's Chris Paul.
For sure. The answer was just
he
no.
He put me in a really weird box
you
with that question.
You could have just said they don't have one. That would have been okay.
The answer could have been Chris Paul. He played there literally last year.
That's true. And he's free right now. So.
He imparted a lot of wisdom last year. But anyway, continue.
Where I wanted to go with it is the sneaky addition of Sean Sweeney to take over their defense. What he's doing creatively with Wembanyama to keep him around the basket, keep him as low to the baseline to provide that rim protection or rim deterrence where he's literally blocking shots, so he's just there. And guys are like, all right, I ain't got this angle. I might have beat my guy on the perimeter. I don't have the angle. Now I have to kick it out. Maybe we have to do that 3 more times, and then we live with a shot that we don't necessarily want. He's doing a great job with that defensive process, and that's why I feel like they can contend. Less about the offense. I think Wemby has a lot of questions to answer on that end, especially playing through physicality in ways that teams are guarding him with smaller guys. It's going to be more so about how good their defense is. There's no guarding Wemby in transition, no different than there was no guarding LeBron and there was no guarding Giannis when he's in transition. Wemby has that, and if they're able to play to those qualities that consistently, that's tough. And for all intents and purposes, they have the 3rd best defense in the league entirely this season. That's the type of space they're operating in right now.
But they don't have Chris Paul.
They do
So
not.
they suck. Let's take a look at the line for tonight. Of course, presented by our friends over at Bet365. An 8-point spread. The Suns are underdogs at plus 230 on the money line for the Suns, a minus 280 on the money line for the Spurs. They're the clear favorite tonight, and they've earned it. They are one of the better teams in the league. Whether you think it translates to the playoffs or not, obviously only time will tell. But we all know why we're all gathered here today, and that is to watch me hit my pre-game pick, of course, presented by our friends over at Bet365. Sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10. Place a bet for $5, get $200 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT-STEP to 53342, or visit promgambling.az.gov. Put that away. We're starting fresh post All-Star break. Everybody's at 0.
That's not how that works.
Yeah.
I don't
Nope.
think that's how
I
it
thought we
works.
talked about this, guys.
That
We-
was a monologue, not a dialogue.
Guys, it's just it's a pretty close competition.
Do you
anyway.
really want to embarrass
We could
yourself by starting at 0
We
again
can
and
just
still
we can
losing?
all start at 0, and we could just forget that the first 70% of the season happened.
Now, why would I want to do that?
Look, man, if you're really about that competition life, man, like
I am. I'm winning.
all I'm saying, it seems like you're running from the grind.
Oh, okay.
man.
Yep.
I-
My next chapter.
I think you're bold to want to lose twice in 1 year.
Hey,
That's,
look, I'm already so down bad that I have nothing to lose,
Nothing.
okay? That's the great betting mentality. When you're down 300, keep going. Gil, what are you putting your money on tonight?
I kept it pretty simple, and I'm now happy to see Jalen Green in the starting lineup. 3+ first quarter points for him. De'Aaron Fox over 5.5 assists. Devin Booker over 36.5 PRA, picking up where he left off in the All-Star game. And I got some scoring in this game. Alternate line over 222.5 game points, and that is plus 420 with a 50% profit boost.
Espo, where are you going?
Yeah,
tonight?
let's take a look at my bet tonight. This is how I get back in it because I got Devin Booker over 5.5 assists, Jalen Green over 10 points. The Suns at a plus 8 for a plus 2,600
What?
with a 50% profit boost this
Dang,
evening.
they showed.
That's crazy odds.
Sheesh.
I should have tailed
For the
that one.
Suns,
He's-
plus
they
8, Book
taking that
over
spread.
5.5, and Jalen Green 10 points? That's nuts. That's a great bet. But, I mean, I feel good about my bet. We'll look at Ayrton's first, though, because Ayrton is back. He's taking a nice little 3-leg parlay with a 50% profit boost. Devin Booker over 34.5 PRA. Oso Gadara over 11.5 PRA. And Victor Wembanyama, 10-plus rebounds at plus 375, 50% profit boost. I felt good about my bet. I don't know if I feel good anymore. I have bet envy. I've got Devin Booker over 1.5 3-pointers made. I've got Jalen Green over 2.5 assists. Grayson Allen's out, so I guess I got Suns money line. Never mind. I've got Suns money line. It's okay. Plus 230. Totally missed that. I felt good about my bet. Not anymore because I can't get that anymore. Okay. Well, that's a great way to start the post
do you want to
All-Star
feel
break.
a little bit better?
Yeah.
I'll give you mine is a little different than what wound up on the graphic.
Okay.
Sun spread at 8. Book 4+ threes. Jalen Green 20+ points.
Oh.
That's
That's
how you get to
2,600.
2,600.
Okay. I was like, what's
and-
going on?
And a 50% profit boost. If I hit $400, and I am
Wow.
way out of the hole.
Well,
at
I
that point.
I see a path to
Let's
that
go hit a
happening.
lick with that first.
I'm about to say, I'm taking Suns money line. Though.
Look,
So I
look,
got a plus 230 Suns money line.
I
bet.
shouldn't have said crap and just rode because I think I got
Yeah.
a better chance of hitting the first
I
one.
would have
but-
checked. I
So
would
But
you
you
what? I
know-
wasn't gonna go check.
Yeah, I'm a man that is honest most of
You
the
know,
time.
leave it to
so-
leave it to me to be like, this is what everything changes, and I literally have a bet with a guy that's not playing. Leave it to me, man.
Set that
Chip away.
tone.
Just chip away.
Set that
Watch,
tone.
everything's gonna hit on that too, and the Suns are gonna lose by 1.
You can reset the counter in your head. How
I
about
guess
that?
so. Look, I'm rooting for a Suns win. Do I think the Suns will win? We'll get a must-win meter check in here first before we get to our score predictions. It's an 8.8. Steven with the low 7. Espo and I going with a 10. Ayrton and Guild an 8.5. But do they win is the big question. 2 guys taking the Spurs, Gil and Steven. Wow. So you don't believe?
I mean, come on, guys. I understand.
No, I don't understand at
I
all.
believe in the Suns. I just believe in the Spurs a little more tonight.
Yeah. Contrary to discourse, Dillon Brooks is not a bad defender. In fact, he's the best defender on the Phoenix Suns. So the fact that they don't have that guy
That's fair.
against this team with who they have, who he typically would guard in their starting lineup, that hurts a little bit. Especially for if you're talking about the Suns and you don't like what size they have to offer, you take away one of their bigger fours, that hurts you. That hurts you a lot. So I think Dillon Brooks' absence is going to be something that hurts their defense tonight. And San Antonio's been averaging about 127 the last 6 games. So, yeah, they chip away at that 127 by holding them to 119, but, yeah.
Well, we're all rooting for a Suns victory, and we're doing it at the Upper Deck Kitchen and Bar at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. There's still time to come out here and watch the game with us, so make sure you come out here. So no watch along tonight. We're all going to be watching here at Gila. Go get some villain merch.
I hope I'm wrong, too, rocking the mic.
Yeah.
Me too. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, I hope they're all wrong, except for Espo. I guess I hope Espo's right. Go get your villain merch.
Clip that.
Clip
First
that,
time
yeah.
we've ever heard that.
Clip
so
that.
Clip it.
Go get your villain merch, 30% off. Go PHNX.com. That sale's not going to last forever, so go check that out now. And then, of course, we got a whole fun post-All-Star break content stream coming for you, including post-game tonight. We'll be back talking about a Suns win over the Spurs, and we'll see you then.
We all silly like the mayor.